What's going on, everybody? Stephanie White's back at it again. She's talking, which means she's lying. And we got proof of it again because that's what she does. As Indiana now has a game tomorrow against the New York Liberty. And Stephanie White had some comments to make about it, but we'll jump right on into it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, where we talk facts over feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez-Shomont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment, let me know y'all thoughts. As you know, I'm here in Vegas, dropping another video for you before I head out. It is afternoon here on the Pacific Coast time. My body never adjusts to this stuff because when I look back at home on my cameras and stuff like that, it's like, wait, what's going on there right now? Oh, yeah, it's 3 hours later. Oops, my bad. But anyhow, we're going to talk about this Stephanie White deal because every time she talks, she lies. And when we're going to talk about it here specifically is her comments as to Caitlin Clark's status and health. But before we jump in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know y'all thoughts on this. Let's jump right in on this thing because you saw the debacle that was the WNBA All-Star game. You saw what was going on with Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White, during the festivities. Some of y'all are maybe in the same boat as I am, saying, well, why are they all partying together? You know, on Thursday, I think it was, there's a party that they let out to the public, and you had players and coaches partying together. I don't know how often you see that in the NBA. I don't know how often you see that in the NFL. I don't know that you see that in baseball, not for an all-star game weekend, maybe for a championship, maybe for a parade, maybe for that night. But for an all-star game, I don't know that I've ever seen that. Maybe y'all have. If you have, let me know. Please be sure to comment. At least they haven't published it because there is still something to be said about having your coach here and your players here. Players and coaches I've never thought should really be mingling in the same spaces when it comes to partying because the players are typically a lot younger than the coaches. And there's still that leadership situation because God forbid you have a coach who gets blasted in front of players and players have to carry that coach out because that coach is inebriated, intoxicated, vomiting, blah, 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 whatever. It's not the best look. So I know y'all thoughts. Let me know what you think. However, they had that party. You have the videos circulating. I did my video. Of course, there are people that didn't like it, and I'm cool with that because they have to have their opinion about, well, you didn't put Caitlin Clark in it. Yeah, because Caitlin Clark was not grinding on other players. She had a conversation with Courtney. So she watched their podcast. Woohoo! She had a drink. Who cares? She was up on the stage with the DJ. Okay. Woohoo. That's not what I'm talking about. I was talking about the grinding, the sexual innuendo, the things that were going on that are probably not the most appropriate that you'd want to see or you want children to see or you want to get out, period, to the fan base because it's not – you could do your debauchery privately. The NBA does it all the time. They don't publish it. If you saw the NBA publishing the things that those guys probably do, you'd lose your minds. But the WNBA thinks that they're not going to be covered the same way and they should have some type of different rule. So they publish all of it and they think it's cute. Now, this particular article on ESPN that came out involving Caitlin Clark's status. Now, beyond that, you saw Caitlin Clark participating in jacking three-pointers from half court and doing other things where I just think it's a dangerous, slippery slope. I don't know why you're touching a basketball. You were in tears just a few days ago. And I'm doing this, Stephanie White. You have, these different things going on with her activity. And I'm wondering when she was doing any type of therapy. When was she resting? Because I didn't see rest. You're on your feet the entire day. That's not rest. Now, I get it. Some people can heal faster. She's having these things nag her. She needs to sit down. And so you saw that on Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. I'm hoping that on Sunday she laid down a bed and didn't leave it. I'm hoping on today's Monday. I hope she's doing the same. I hope she's getting therapy in the facility. But they're in New York, right? They're playing in New York. Is she going to travel, or are they going to continue this game-to-game, day-to-day thing that they're going to keep people from not bowing out? I don't know how many people went to the All-Star game, right? The night before, they had like 2,000 empty seats for the All-Star game, for the All-Star weekend festivities. Now, let's take a look. All right, so they have here, I don't know what the attendance was. I'm going to go 16,988. I think we all know that building holds more than that because we've seen the numbers. Yeah, Gamebridge Fieldhouse seats 18,000 people. They put in 1,012 less than capacity for that All-Star game because Caitlin Clark didn't play. People just gave up their tickets. It just didn't go. I'm sure it was sold out, but the attendance was not. There were empty seats. And that game was terrible, as we all know. But this is what Stephanie, or Stephanie, as so many love to refer to her as, what she had to say about Caitlin Clark's likelihood of playing. So it says here that Caitlin Clark is unlikely to play Tuesday. Why unlikely? Why isn't she just being ruled out? Why are we going through this song and dance of lies? She'll undergo additional testing for a right groin injury. Clark and the team should have hopefully more of a clear line of what the path forward looks like after consulting with doctors early this week, White told reporters. Today's Monday. Early in the week is Monday, Tuesday. But if you don't know what the path is right now, then what you're saying is nothing more than a lie. It's nothing more than a lie. Because you don't know what the path is, yet you have her day-to-day. You keep with the day-to-day stuff. But then you say, I don't expect her to be available on Tuesday, so we're just going to continue to take it one day at a time and let her get evaluations early this week. Early this week is this was as of 8:55, July 20th. Yesterday, p.m. Early this week, today's Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday. Is Wednesday still considered early in the week? I'm not sure, in her opinion. But I would say it's Monday, Tuesday. You don't expect her to play. Why is she even traveling? Why not just have her stay in Indiana? This doesn't make a lot of sense. It's illogical. They continue to operate in an illogical way and put unnecessary travel on her. She doesn't need to travel to this game. Their next game is Thursday at home versus Vegas. So you're going to fly her to New York, fly her back. When is she going to actually, get therapy? When is she actually going to get the treatment that she needs that she's not going to get on the road? But no, let's just keep on flying her around the country. Let's keep doing it. She's already missed 10 games. She had returned to action for less than a week when she hurt her right groin in closing seconds of the Indiana win over Connecticut. For us, it's probably something you are going to have to continue to deal with. These soft tissue injuries sometimes nag until you can actually have time to really allow them to heal in the offseason. So we'll just take it one day at a time, and as they come, and this group will continue to progress together. That's what Stephanie White had to say. She's had time to let them recover. Y'all just don't let them recover. You just don't allow it to recover. You keep throwing her ass back out there. She keeps telling you she's good, and while she might feel good on that particular day, y'all in your positions of power and leadership of a franchise are failing to protect her from herself. I don't care if she says to you 1,000 times over, I'm ready. You know, based on how she plays, the torque in which she plays, she can't just run back before it's 1,000% healed. You didn't need to wait until the offseason for that to happen. You just needed, a few weeks when the season started. You just needed a few weeks when the groin pull happened. No, you rushed her back in 2. It should have been 4 or 5. You did that. You made these decisions, these bad decisions as a franchise. Your doctors suck. Your coach keeps lying. and calling it a day-to-day situation. It's not a day-to-day situation. Stop lying to fans. Stop lying to people. Stop trying to screw people over their money from going to games. Let them sell those tickets if they can't go. Right now, you have on Sunday. I would venture to guess that she won't play tomorrow. She won't play Thursday. She'll play. I have a feeling she'll probably play Sunday in Chicago because she missed the first game they had in Chicago. So I have this feeling that they're going to get her back out there on a road game. Well, then if that's the case, how about you just be smart about it and hold her at home? Don't make her go. Don't have her travel back to New York. There's no point to that. There's no point to it. You keep doing this over and over. It's like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You keep doing the same stuff as a franchise. This stuff doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just, let's keep doing the same shit. No. You got New York, Vegas, Chicago, Phoenix, Dallas. I mean, realistically, she shouldn't play the next two. Again, I don't know what the status of her injury is because they're not being honest about it. They're lying as a franchise. She's lying as a coach. No one's telling the truth. People think that she's all good because she's bouncing the fuck around at a party on Thursday, 2 days after the injury or whatever, that she's bouncing around on Friday, that she's bouncing around on Saturday. Oh, my God, she has a drink in her hand as if drinking has to do with your groin healing. But she's very active because she's just an active person. You're asking a 23-year-old sit down and don't do shit. It's hard. It's hard to get them to listen to that stuff. But at the same time, you also have to think about what's going on. And as a franchise, you keep failing. You're failing her. She has some culpability, has to have some level of what do you call it, accountability for herself. But she's always going to want to play. That's what an athlete does. I actually talked to Nick last week about this, actually on Saturday, because he had a pulled groin. He says, I actually healed pretty quickly from my pulled groin. However, when he had his hamstring, he says he couldn't walk for 6 weeks. Like, he couldn't do anything for 6 weeks. He says with the groin, he actually came back pretty decent rather quickly. But again, he's not playing. He's not the starting point guard of the Indiana Fever. He's not having to carry 90% of the load of the team. He's playing DB and it's important, but he's not having to play a game but once a week. So he could heal potentially. I mean, however, again, everyone's different, but this is the fourth injury this season. Quad, groin. Like, this is the fourth time this season. She's not healing. She's not being given a chance to heal. And she keeps the overcompensation is crazy. And the travel continues to be crazy. It makes no sense. But there you go. Stephanie White has to lie about it and tell you that she's day-to-day. Because I think at this point, this is an edict from the league. And you got to stop. You got to stop with this bullshitting around and this day-to-day crap, because I think it also puts pressure on her to come back faster than she should. If they actually say, look, she's out 2 weeks, she's out a minimum 2 weeks, out a minimum 3 weeks. We're not even having this conversation. This is happening too much, and we're going to hold her out until that point. That's when you have to make that decision as a franchise. And when Stephanie White last week said she'll talk to her team about playing in the All-Star festivities, well, we all knew she was out. And then you're not part of that team of conversation, except you're the coach of her. It's like there's so many things that are going wrong right now in Indiana with how this Caitlin Clark shit has been working out, and it's one thing after the other. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts. You think Stephanie White's full of shit as usual, or you think I'm crazy? I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on that? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And once again, I appreciate y'all continued support of this channel. If you enjoy the content, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way, women's basketball. Come on now.